How does China see its neighbors? As the Chinese often quote, a well-meaning neighbor is more helpful than a faraway relative. Issues between China and its neighbors, the DPRK, India, and Japan in particular, are spotlighted in the Pacific Asian issues. But how do the everyday Chinese citizens view the countries surrounding them? To start, which country is the most favored by the Chinese people? Is it Pakistan, Singapore, or Thailand? The answer is actually South Korea, with 4.7% most favorable votes. Japan is the second most liked neighboring country, with 3.9% Chinese voters. Interestingly, Japan also has the most unpopular votes, at 47.8%. Japan is the most disliked country, 10 times more than that of the second-place country. Exactly the same amount of people take Pakistan and DPRK, China's old friends, as their favorite countries, but only with 0.2% of votes for each. The Philippines, with prolonged disputes over the South China Sea, received 0 favorable votes. It comes as no surprise that most people define the personality of their neighbors. What do the Chinese people think about their neighboring countries? Russia is overwhelmingly viewed as the biggest political power in the eyes of most Chinese, with Japan and South Korea following closely. Japan, regardless of its unpopularity in the survey, is regarded as the economic and technological leader among China's neighbors. Meanwhile, which neighbors impress Chinese people the least? Vietnam and Malaysia hardly presents any powerful image to the Chinese, as no one takes them as politically or economically powerful countries. But respectively, 0.1% think the Philippines and the DPRK have advanced technological development. What do the Chinese think of the relationships between China and its neighbors? The relations between China and Japan is definitely one of the top 10 issues in the Asian geopolitics. As is expected, 72.2% see a hostile relations between the two countries, and less than 1% regard the Sino-Japanese ties as cooperative. The most recognized friend of China among the neighboring countries is, understandably, Russia, with slightly more than a quarter of the votes.